are the people who have stepped up to the plate from day one and continue to provide the support that we need to really make Reboot a reality for our service members, who you'll hear their stories here in a few moments here. I first want to just recognize our current funders. One of our biggest funders is the Stifle Benner Trust, and although Kathy and Keith could not be here, we just want to give them a special thank you and shout out for their phenomenal support in underwriting many of our workshops. We also want to thank the National University, and President Potter from National University is here. National has been very, very, very good to us from the beginning. In fact, when we were crawling along as like little fledglings and we needed someone to give us a hand up and give us a facility to help us grow, National University stepped up to the plate immediately, provided this facility to us, and helped us really get to where we needed to go. And so we have something special for President Potter. And this is kind of like one of our unique surprises that we like to do, especially for those who just have done so much. And so I would like for President Potter to join us with Ronnie and the mayor. And this is a shadow box that we want to give you in our appreciation for your support.
I'm speechless. So much.
Let me read it to you. If you could bring it over here, I can read it to you. You want to read it, President Potter?
No, I actually don't think I can see it without my glasses. That's what happens.
I know that feeling.
In appreciation for your generous support in helping us transition America's heroes from the battlefront to the home front by supporting Reboot workshops in the most critical time in our growth. For that, we are eternally grateful. The NVTSI Reboot team.
Thank you. We have so much support externally to make us and help us do what we need to do. We're just totally delighted, and every day someone new steps up to the plate to support us. Let me just go into the classroom now and recognize our facilitators and instructors who pour out their heart and soul every day to our students. And we say it's not so much about the curriculum, it's about the person delivering it. Anyone can read a script, but it takes the right kind of person to pass passion, conviction, and determination on to individuals who receive it and then take it for action and move forward. And so I'd like for Joseph Allman, our week 1, week 2 facilitator, to stand and be recognized. As you can see, he's the bomb. Everybody likes him. Another one of our dynamic facilitators, Jesse LaCosta, is there. Jesse, just stand up and just take a bow. Powerful things come in small packages. Jesse is, again, another one of those passionate facilitators who really engages our students so they really fully understand exactly what's going on and how to make that journey. I would also call your attention to the program book where we list a lot of the facilitators, and although a lot of our week 3 facilitators could not be here today, we recognize them and we honor them and we thank them in spirit for all that they've been doing and all that they've done to help our veterans. Now, many of them do this, in fact, most of them do this as a volunteer service, and so they're not getting paid to do this, they're giving back, and we appreciate that. There's a comment made or a statement that was made by Admiral Mullins, Mike Mullins, when he was with the Joint Chiefs, and he talked about having our troops back, and he mentioned something called the Sea of Goodwill. And the Sea of Goodwill is really the community. It's the public-private partnerships that come together to support our troops when they come back. And a comment that President Obama made pretty much sums it all up. And he says, and I quote, "Our men and women in uniform stand watch abroad and more are ready to deploy. Each and every one of them, and to the families who bear the quiet burden of their absence, Americans are united in sending one message. We honor your service. We are inspired by your sacrifice, and you have our unyielding support. And just as they must have the resources they need in the world, we all have a responsibility to support them when they come home. We thank the Sea of Goodwill, all of the donors, the supporters, the facilitators, and the speakers, everyone listed on the front and the back of this program. We sincerely thank you all for supporting not just Reboot, but supporting our veterans, because this is what it's pretty much all about. And so I'd like to now call up our Mistress of Ceremonies, who will facilitate from this point forward. My job was to welcome you, to thank you, and to hopefully get you to open up your purses a little bit more. And then we'll talk more later on. So without further delay, I'm going to introduce Della Roach, who's our Mistress of Ceremonies. Della? Have fun.
Well, good morning again. Mayor Sanders, Reboot staff, family, and friends. On behalf of my fellow classmates, I'd like to welcome you to the Class 38 Reboot graduation ceremony. On behalf of Class 38, I'd like to express a truly heartfelt thank you to our wonderful Reboot family. Yes, they are truly family to us. I'd like to say thank you to the founders for having the vision and the conviction to create an exceptional transformational program that has changed and is changing the lives of transitioning service members on a daily basis. Thank you. To the awesome Reboot staff and our lead facilitator, Joseph Allman, you're a gifted facilitator, and at times you are a counselor and always a mentor. Thank you for everything you did for us. And now, without further delay, I'd like to introduce a man who has dedicated his life to service and has been a pillar in the San Diego community. Gerald Robert Jerry Sanders was born in San Pedro, California. His alma maters are San Diego State University and National University. During his senior year at San Diego State University, he became a police officer with the San Diego Police Department. He served in the police department from 1973 until 1999 and served as chief of police from 1993 until 1999. Jerry Sanders left the police department in 1999 and became president and CEO of the United Way of San Diego County. He also served as the United Way Community Campaign Chairman in 2002. Jerry Sanders was elected mayor of San Diego in November 2005 and has since continued a remarkable span of over 30 years of dedicated service to the San Diego community and our country. Please give a warm welcome to our honored guest, Mayor Jerry Sanders.
Thank you very much. This is actually kind of an exciting day for me because I'm going to be going through a reboot in about 37 days. I'm very honored to be here, and I'm very honored to be in your company. I just think this is a remarkable training program, and I really want to thank Ronnie Furman and Maurice for putting this together, and all the board members and all the rest of you support this, because there isn't anything more important than bringing back our military personnel into civilian life and doing it in a way that makes them feel valued, that makes them feel as though they can contribute just like everybody else. And as you saw the veterans stand up, a lot of people have been through this. And so I'm not going to talk about the remarks I had. I want to congratulate the class, the 38th class, graduating class since Reboot. But I just want to tell you the things that you're going through are the same things that a lot of people go through. And I had the privilege of walking through the classroom over there and looking at the charts you had on the board and looking at the way you're charting your career and your future. And I know that none of you are going to be artists. But a lot of you have a lot to contribute, and it's very obvious from looking at what your aspirations are that you're going to be contributing heavily as you move forward. And I'd just like to tell you that the fears that I saw on the board in there are exactly the same fears that all of us face when we make transitions. Now, I was a cop for 26 years, much the same as being in the military. You're on time every day, your shoes are shined every day, you're told what to do every day. And at the end of 26 years, you're wondering, can I do anything else? Is there anything else that a cop can do? And when I went to United Way, I thought, I don't know that I can run a business. I don't know that I can manage people outside of cops. Cops are a unique breed, or at least you think they are, much as you're a unique breed, at least in your own mind. And what you find out are people, management's management, supervision's supervision, and working's working. What you find out is that the skills that you have translate into everything else. And let me tell you that as a police department, we recruited heavily from the military because the skills that you have are exactly the skills that we looked for. When I was at United Way, the skills that you have are exactly the skills we looked for in our employees there. You have discipline. You have a sense of being outside of your family. You have a sense of job or life experience. You have all the skills that you need to make that successful transition, no matter where you go to. And employers are looking for those very skills. Now, I didn't see it in the police department much because if you were late twice, we simply asked the people to leave. Now, that was in the early days. Later on, there were discipline procedures and appeals and all of that. But we wanted the very skills that you had of knowing when you're supposed to be at work and working hard the entire day and being part of a team. And all of you have been part of a team. And that's what the most important part is, that teamwork. No matter what job you go to, that team atmosphere, that person that can be part of a team, that can lead a team, is critically important when you get out into the other world. And I won't call it the real world. You've been in the real world. Other people are in the other world. And as you make that transition, you're going to find that every one of you have more skills than almost anybody else in the job force. You've had more training. You have had more expectations put on you. You've had goals put to you, and you've had that teamwork. All of those are things every single employer in San Diego is looking for, whether it's a small business, a large business, or anything in between. So as you move forward, realize that all those things that you had as fears are the same fears that the rest of us have, no matter whether we're 62, which I am eligible for Social Security, I might add, or whether you're 22. But you have a tremendous background behind you that translates into a tremendous future and you being tremendous employees or business owners or leading organizations. And I just think that all those things are actually strengths for you, and I really admire you for moving forward with that. And I appreciate the rest of you being here providing that support, because it's the family support, it's the social support. There is nothing more important in San Diego, especially with the position that we occupy with the military, and the fact that if it were not for the military, if it was not for the Marine Corps and the Navy, San Diego would still be a city of about 40,000 people, kind of wondering what we're supposed to do in life. The military brings us about $32 billion a year. One job out of every 4 is military or defense industry. And we owe it to those of you who have served in that side to make sure you have a seamless transition into the other side. So I'm thinking about Reboot myself. I worry about the next paycheck after I'm done being mayor. I worry about going into an organization and having the skills to run that. Now, I've run a police department, I've run a city, I've run a United Way, a nonprofit, but that doesn't mean that I don't have those same concerns that all of you do, getting into a new environment and figuring out how you fit into it, figuring out how you make an impact, figuring out how you meet the goals that you have to meet. So we're all going to be going through a reboot at some time or other. Sudbury, Tom, you went through a huge transition from being a fighter pilot to a very successful developer in San Diego. And I just have to tell you, you can look at the people in this room and you can see that all of us can make that transition. So I wanted to congratulate you. I wanted to thank you. I want to thank you for your service, but I also want to thank you for what you're going to contribute in San Diego or wherever you're going to go. Not everybody will probably stay here, although we'd love to have all of you here. We have probably the strongest community in America because we have so many service members who stay in San Diego and contribute to that community. So once again, Ronnie, Maurice, thank you very much. But I really want to thank all of you who have served and are going through this transition, and all of you that have served, and all of you who are helping them. So thank you.